Greetings, Ray audience. I'd like to thank each and every one for tuning in to the Yahweh Will broadcast. Thank you for your time, your ears, and the host for this broadcast will be Minister Derek Gooden.
Greetings, nation this day. To all that can hear the sound of my voice. I, Minister Gooden of the Yahweh Will Ministry, thank each and every one of you that can hear the word of Yahweh that will be coming this day. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's name. Realizing many may not know that name, but it is his Hebrew name that was taken from the King James manuscript. That's why you don't read it in the King James, because when it was translated in 1611, the translator was influentially made to take that righteous name out. So I understand about many that listen and understand from the word Lord and God. I don't condemn you for that, because you have to go with what you know. So I will be using the Hebrew name, Yahweh, our elder brother named Yeshua, the righteous Savior. And as I go through the book of Yahweh, that is the closest manuscript to the Hebrew language, I will also give you the name from the King James manuscript so that you can keep up with me as I go through this sermon. Today we're dealing with part 2 of righteousness or wickedness. Righteousness or wickedness. Nation, you're going to see through this broadcast that the things that Father Yahweh will say, you will actually see it happening right before your eyes. To know that these words are not a lie. To know that this broadcast is not a deceiving broadcast. It will give facts of what we are actually living in today's time. And I, Minister Gooden, is not here to convert no one. I'm not here to slander nor condemn. I'm just here to deliver the news, to give you the written word of Father Yahweh. So from the way we see life right now, people put more confidence and trust in what man says than what Father Yahweh says. People hang on to every word of what human beings will have to say. But I'm here to tell you, my friend, our greatest and the most expectation we'll have is to put trust in Father Yahweh. Put all your trust in Father Yahweh. I will tell you no lie with that, because you will see through the scriptures that man has been a failure since the beginning of created time. Righteousness in the Hebrew Strong Concordance Dictionary is number 6666. 6666 means to act accordingly in a proper, decent standard. Righteousness is doing what is acceptable and righteous. Righteousness is being in the right mind. The mind must be in the right thinking capacity. Righteousness is righteous, justice, and doing and showing righteous acts. Righteous acts. Also, righteousness is acting in a just, upright manner, being of a virtuous character, being morally right in speaking and in the way one treats their neighbor with right standing. Righteousness is fair and justifiable. You can always justify righteousness. Always. No deceiving it. Righteousness will always be held in the upward of character. That's all Father Yahweh required of us, to treat one another as human beings righteous, morally decent mannerisms. But in the world that we live right now, we see neighbor that more wickedness is being carried out than righteousness. What is wickedness? Wickedness in the Hebrew dictionary is Numbers 75:62 and 75:63. Wickedness is being evil, of a wrongdoing, constantly acting in an evil manner. Evilness brings forth the wicked of the iniquity. Wickedness is iniquity of Yahweh laws being broken. You're going to find that to be very significant in a moment. Wickedness is the guilty of being unrighteous, unholy, condemned for these diabolical acts of sin. Wickedness is morally bad, acting or doing with evil intent. Wickedness is depraved. It is the depraved of being vicious, cruel, painfully evil action. Very unpleasant. And one shows great skill in mischievousness. All of this comes from the fruit of wickedness. This is what the land called earth is filled with today. More wickedness than righteousness. But we're going to go back in history to show where these acts occurred from the beginning as to where we are now in 2024. We're going back to history, and you'll see it from generation to generation. Isaiah 58 and verses 1. Father Yahweh had the prophet Isaiah to write, "Cry loud, spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sin." Meaning, make it known, preacher. Expose the deeds of all unrighteousness. Nation, in today's time, many people always want to blame the devil for everything. Everything is the devil's fault. Everything is Satan's fault. But I'm going back before Satan could even be blamed. I'm going back to a service where there will be Yahweh and man. I'm going back to where there were specific instructions given, one-on-one, between Father Yahweh and his created being, man. Genesis chapter 2 and verses 7. And Yahweh formed man first of the dust of the ground, breathing into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living being. That's significant. That's significant. Because Adam first formed it, received instructions directly from the voice of Father Yahweh. This is our history. Before we all came upon this land and created beings, Adam first formed it. Then verses 15. Then Yahweh took the man whom he created, put him in the Garden of Eden to work and care for his garden. Yahweh commanded now, directly instructed, man, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat. Specific instructions. Nothing not to be understood. Direct command. But of the tree of the knowledge of righteousness and evil, you must not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Hold me up right there, verse 17. directly what Father Yahweh told him. So Adam could not play that absent-minded game. He couldn't play that sometime game. He couldn't play that I didn't understand game. He understood specifically. But he went on to directly disobey Father Yahweh. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the wickedness from generation to generation because of one man disobeying Father Yahweh. That's where we are in 2024, still going through the sins of disobedience because of the wickedness of Adam. Trace your history. Trace your history, nation. I'm blaming all those things, and it goes back to Adam. For before Satan spoke through Eve, his wife, Adam was firstborn. So now let's go into some history with another brother of righteousness, another one of our co-laborers, Noah. And we're going to bring Noah into today's time to show where the earth is and why we are where we are. Noah, coming out of Genesis chapter 6 and verses 1. And it came to pass, nation, when men began to multiply on earth, when they began to increase, daughters were born to them. People were doing as Yahweh had created them to do, multiplying with children. The earth was filling up with children, growing up into adults, meaning the multitude of people as we have today. Impregnation from fetus to newborn, through the adulthood into where we are now as adults. It's still happening today, Father Yahweh's creation. Yahweh says the men of this world will never subject themselves to my words, the law and the prophets, for they indeed carnally minded. Thus their days shall be 120 years before destruction. Verse 3 ties us in right now. Why have we been taught throughout the generations that the laws of Father Yahweh are done away with, nailed to the cross? Those old Mosaic laws, those laws that we don't have to live by anymore. Well, nation, I will show you that that is a lie. Nation, I will show you that that is a lie and that we are commanded to live by Father Yahweh every word. And even right before our eyes today, his laws are still being carried out. But the lions of Satan's influences, as Adam was, his laws are done away with. So that's why people will not subject themselves to the ways of righteousness. That's why you see people loving to do wickedness, because the mind is in a state of morbidness, loving sin over righteousness. All back into Adam, Genesis 2 and verse 7. All the way back into Adam. One man sinned, from one nation to the next, the seeds of evildoers. So we see in verses 3, it has not changed. So the Torah on the earth in those days was also afterwards when the sons of their God came. They thought they were too mighty. They thought they were greater than Father Yahweh, and some people today think because of their material harvest, they're greater than the Almighty Father, ignorantly not knowing that they receive everything by Father Yahweh's will, even though it may not be used in a righteous manner, but everything comes from his earth. What do we have that have not come from the grounds of Father Yahweh? So those mighty ones then, as now, are the enemies of Father Yahweh. From then to now, from those that is of a well-known name to those that is of a least name, still practicing and performing the wicked acts, nation, that we see happening right before our eyes. people think because of their material harvest, they're greater than obeying Father Yahweh. I got this, I got that, I got this. But all we are is Genesis 3 and 19, nation. All we are as human beings is from dust we came to dust we going back. That's all we are. The graveyards are loading up every day. They're loading up every day to show you that Yahweh do not lie. We're burying the dead every day. Where the material harvest at? Could it save us? Could it keep us? No, because nothing we got that Father Yahweh allows to receive is greater than He is. So pick me up in Genesis 6 and 5. So then Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. This is in Genesis 6 and 5. We live in now 2024, and these same words can apply to us today. Every intent of a thought of people's minds was only evil continually. Have it changed? Have it changed? Don't we see the wickedness growing stronger and stronger from the time of Adam through Noah, through the history with the Pharaoh, all through history we've seen how Father Yahweh's word has constantly been rejected. Now look at verses 6. Father Yahweh said he regretted what mankind's people had become. For people failed to keep Yahweh's laws, people grieved Yahweh's Holy Spirit. Now, Father Yahweh is grieved for what he sees. Why should his children be grieved? Our spirit he has given us bear witness with him. So if it grieved his children to see all of this sin, he grieved it first. He is telling Noah how regret evil has formed it, man. You never read where Father Yahweh said he regretted. He made the beasts of the earth. It's the people that he governed to live his ways, but because of Satan's influences, as it was with Adam, Yahweh's word has been disobeyed from generation to generation. And the key to this is the lying preachers that have taught that we don't have to obey all of Yahweh's word. We can live as we want and still be blessed. Well, that is an outright lie, because the curses of Yahweh fills the earth now because of disobedience. I'm Minister Good, not here to deceive you. You will see it for yourself as you live upon this earth from day to day. It is only getting worse. The acts of crime, the hatred, the bitterness that one has towards another is because the mind is set in a diseased state of morbidness. Instead of practicing the righteous, it is the wicked that is being carried out. So in verse 7, Yahweh said, I will destroy people whom I created from the face of the earth, both man and beast. The beast had to go too, even though they was not sinful, but they was on the earth with sinful people, they had to go as well. So every creeping thing, every bird of the air, for I am regretted what man has become. Not beast, but man, people. Totally outright disobedient. For the animals still live according to the nature they was created. The human beings, they live completely against the nature that they are created to live. That's why it's very important for the understanding of studying Yahweh's holy laws, so you will know what is a righteous character, so you will know how to conduct and live according to Yahweh's righteousness. That's what Yahweh will ministry. We teach Yahweh law. Our class to study to enhance your life for Yahweh's righteousness. 1-800-613-9494. That's the house of Yahweh. Please call. But then in verse 8, Noah found regard, which is honor in the eyes of Yahweh. Noah found respect. Noah found mercy. Noah was righteous. Noah saved his household by his righteous deeds in the eyes of Yahweh. Noah didn't walk with the wicked. Noah didn't come against Yahweh's word with the wicked. Noah seen all of the wickedness being done, but he did not partake with them. He stood against them. And nation, that's what we find today, that the righteous must stand in accordingly with Father Yahweh. So that means you will be a standout. That means you will be a castaway. That means you will be evilly spoken of, because your righteous character will outshine the wickedness that's on earth. Don't feel hated. Don't feel as an outsider. Just be thankful you're with Yahweh. Just be thankful you're chosen to be with Father Yahweh. Noah was an outsider to all the wickedness that was being done during his time period. That's how come he and his household was spared upon the ark. That's why when Yahweh flooded the earth, Noah's family can enter the ark for their salvation, which is deliverance. Because of righteousness, they received it, the help, the mercy. Yahweh has not changed. Yahweh has not changed. Nation is still the same today. Yahweh has not changed. I want to go into the prophet. I want to go into the prophet and show you exactly what is happening as we yet live right now. If you go with me into the prophet of Nahumyah. Nahumyah in the King James manuscript, it will say Nahum. Nahum, chapter 3 and verses 1. Woe to the bloody city, the bloody nation. It is all full of lies and robbery. There is no end to the victim. Carcasses everywhere. Unmerciful killing every day. Do we not see this nation? Do you not hear this on the news every day? Unmerciful violence, senseless violence. All unkind, unnecessary acts being done. It's covered by the book. As Nahum the prophet, inspired by Yahweh to write what was happening, we tied into today's time from this nation and all across this global earth. No end to its victims. Murdering after murdering after murdering. Sometimes the coroners and the morticians can't keep up with the demand. They digging graves every day. Senseless. Senseless. Walk into a business to do business, cannot be a lie. The war must break out between nations. We must have the pain of devastation. We must have the pestilent diseases of devastation, the natural disasters, the great flooding in the many different towns, the earthquakes, the tornadoes, the hurricanes is all in the book. How Yahweh formed the storms out on the sea and move them with nothing but wind and water. And they become mighty ferocious storms as they go across the seas. Yahweh's word don't lie. We see it. You can pack up and run, but you can't outrun the sky. You can't outrun Yahweh's heaven. But if you think you're safe from the hurricane, here come a tornado. You're sitting at your desk or in your bed, and next thing you know, the ground is cracking open. Then after the earthquake from under the seas comes the tsunami, where it floods the towns, wiping out buildings, trees, and all. Our nation, this is the realness of Father Yahweh. Nation, this is the realness of Father Yahweh. All that can hear the sound of my voice, this is the reality of what we face day by day, week by week, month by month, storm after storm, catastrophe after catastrophe. Man angry with government, man mad with government, nation. Let's go back to Genesis. Please, Genesis 2 and verses 7. Genesis 2 and verses 7. Yahweh formed a man of the dust of the ground, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Then in verse 15, Yahweh took man, put him in the garden to work and care for what Yahweh had provided for him. Yahweh commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but the tree of the knowledge of righteousness and evil you must not eat it, for in the day you eat it you will surely die. Mexico had just elected their first female president in history. They're looking for a change. They want a different direction. Many countries looking for new leadership. Well, unfortunately, my neighbors, it's not the man who can make the change. No matter what man leads that nation physically, it will not change until Yahweh is being obeyed righteously. So, here in America, I hear it every day. I hear it every day, President Trump, President Biden. I hear the victory. I hear the confusion. Our nation itself is divided. Yes, we're divided from different theories and ideas. Who got the better plan to lead the country? Who can do more to help the country? Well, my neighbors, I come to burst your balloon of false hope. I Minister Good come to burst that balloon because no matter who is living at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., it will not change. They don't have the answer. You can stand in line 10 hours to vote. That's 10 hours you could have been faithfully learning about Father Yahweh than running behind mankind for no hope. Because no matter who's in the office, they're not greater than Father Yahweh. No matter what they say at a debate, they cannot fix what have been broken from generation to generation. These problems didn't just start. And don't be deceived that what happened from the last election here in America have caused all these problems. This has been going on from generation capital looking to kill their neighbor, that would have never took place. So no matter whether it's President Trump or President Biden or whoever, Proverbs chapter 21 and verses 1. The king's mind is in the hand of Yahweh. And like the rivers of waters, Father Yahweh diverts it wherever he will. So what man got power over Father Yahweh? They can make all the plans. They can come up with all the ideas. It's still only in the will of Yahweh as to what will happen. Disobedience will not go unpunished. Now, you look into man for answers, false hope. The prophecies will be fulfilled. Immigration, the border, they say that's the main topic. Immigrants coming into the country illegally. Ain't nobody coming into America illegally. It's trying to stop that lie. There's no border control going to stop what Father Yahweh is allowing to happen. 80,000 plus of our foreign neighbors are coming to America every week. 80,000 plus. Where is this going to be controlled? Who's going to stop it when Father Yahweh is allowing it to happen? It's because of what Father Yahweh has commanded. Now the same laws that we have been lied to was done away with. The same laws that people will tell you, no, they were nailed to the cross. No, we don't do that. No, we don't keep those laws. I want to show you right in your face that the laws are intact. And I want to show you, neighbor, the same ones that say the laws are done away with, the same ones that say they're not living by the laws no more. I want to show you how you're interacting with the law. Now, I didn't write the book, neighbor. Please don't get mad at me. I meant the goodness just a spiritual mailman to show you what is right. Okay? Let us go into the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 28. And let's start with verses 1. Okay? Verses 1. All right. Now, the law says, if we will listen diligently to the voice of Yahweh, how do we do that? When we read the word, obey what the word says, put it in action, then we'll listen diligently, okay? If we will obey the voice of Yahweh by observing and doing all of his laws, which I command you this day, that Yahweh your Father will set you high above all nations on the earth as his kings and priests, as his superior beings. The United States is not the superior nation no more. Don't be deceived with the materialistic garbage in your eyes. Don't be deceived. We are not the head no more. Yahweh is steady ripping from this country to give to other nations. And they are not our allies. Billions and billions of dollars are going to the foreign nations to help them, and we can't even get our own nation off the sidewalk from living on the boxes. Come on, nation, see it now. See it. Don't believe me. See it for yourself. You drive down the street and see people don't make cardboard homes on the sidewalk. How can this nation afford to help all these other countries and we can't help our own? It's because of the wrath of Yahweh against this nation. The break plans of Yahweh, my friends, you all can't change what the wrath of Yahweh is doing. Those are filled with violence. Yahweh looks upon the earth, and indeed, as corrupt as it was then, it is now. For all of the people have corrupted themselves. Noah found the mercy because of his righteousness, as does the saints today, because of their righteousness. They find the mercy of Yahweh because of the lawlessness, the breaking of Yahweh's laws, the teaching that his laws are done away with, which is lies. This is why we are in the trouble of hell we are going through. So you go back from Genesis 6 and verse 11, nation. Come all the way back to Deuteronomy 28 and verses 15. I'll read again. If you do not obey Yahweh our Father, and do not carefully follow all of his laws and statutes, which I command you this day, then all these curses will come upon you and accompany you. The nation is cursed. You are not going to stop our foreign neighbors from coming here, because Father Yahweh has given them the land. Now I will prove it. My credential as an ordained minister is on the line. I will prove that I'm not lying and teaching false propaganda. Are you ready? Let's go. Same chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Pick me up at verses 45. Moreover, all these curses will come upon you and will pursue you and will overtake you until you are destroyed. Because you simply did not obey the voice of Yahweh your Father to keep his laws and his statutes, which I command you this day. No God, no Lord, no Jesus can outdo what Father Yahweh commands. Nation, we are a cursed nation, and Yahweh will not be denied. So no matter what the men say, they are not stopping what Father Yahweh is allowing to be done. Okay? All right, verse 46. All these curses shall come upon you, nation, and your children, nation, for a sign and a wonder that I am Yahweh and that there is no other. I'm not going to take the fast. I'm not going to take the fast. I don't teach theory of my own ideology. I teach the facts of the book. The letter of the book speaks for itself. Verse 47. Because we did not serve Yahweh our Father joyfully as a nation, with the gladness of mind, in the time of great abundance, as many have today, they have turned the materialistic things into God, where they worship and serve the materialistic things, the money, the multiple homes, the display of cars, the outrageous jewelry, all of this looking up to mind controlling. Mine's bigger than yours. I got more than you got. I got this, I got, but we have nothing over Father Yahweh. As we display this materialistic foolishness, Father Yahweh's word is going right on as he has commanded. Verses 48. Therefore, you will serve your enemies. Stop. How will we serve our enemies? This is in the law. The same law that mankind been teaching from these pulpits was nailed to the cross. The old Mosaic law, the old Jewish law. No, we ain't under the law. No, we ain't under the law. You just read back in Genesis 6 and 11 that there's a lawless generation, a lawless nation. But the law is right in your face. You see it every day. You looking at the borders. You looking at who coming across the border, and they right here in your neighborhood. Our neighbors are right here in our face. our necks as a nation until he has destroyed us. Ukraine ain't coming here by accident. America is not helping in Ukraine by accident. Father Yahweh is making America help her enemies because the wrath of Yahweh is against this nation. Ukraine getting more billions than some of us can get $100. Tell me I'm lying. Ukraine getting more billions than some of us Americans can get $100. It's here in the book. These same laws that were lied to us, these same preachers that told us we had to live by the law, they right here in our face. Now, Yahweh will bring a nation against us far from away to the ends of the earth. Like an eagle swooping down, a nation whose language we would not understand. Stop there. Let's go shopping. Let's go find our foreign nations who have no mercy on us in this nation. Okay? Let's go find the foreign nations who are in this nation set up by Yahweh and have no mercy on us. Alright? Let's first go and get our gas. Who we buying gas from? Who running the gas station? Where the Americans at? Well, we once ran the station. Now we trying to sweep up the parking lot to get something to eat. Who runs the gas station? Who are we paying for gas for our cars? I'm not going to take you fast, nation. You can stand right there in their face and they can understand everything we say. Soon as they talk in their native language, if you don't understand that language, you don't know nothing they say. Who running our food markets? Where you once found the Americans behind every counter. Now you hardly see no Americans in the food market. Our foreign neighbors are running the food market. Who gave it to them? Father Yahweh. But the laws are done away with, huh? Okay. Who clean your houses? Who doing your maid service? You calling on the foreigners to come here to clean your houses? Okay. When you call to do business over your phone, where you used to speak to Americans, now you're talking to foreigners from another country taking care of business in this country. Come on now, tell me I'm lying to you. Come on, nation, tell me I'm lying. They're in the gas station, they're in the food market, they're in the food industry. You go in and buy your food, who running the food counter, who own the businesses, and you're talking about how high the rent are for buying houses and paying rent to live. Well, research nation and see who actually own the businesses. They using the Americans as front for the business, but the foreigners own the business, and they the ones have set the prices, and the Americans can't do nothing about it. Come on, nation, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm teaching lies. I got another witness for you. I have another witness for you. Who building your houses and buildings? When you drive down the street, our foreign neighbors are building these houses and buildings every day. Well, once you found all Americans do it, now it's the foreigners right here in the law. How the law done away with, and we see it right in our face. How the law done away with, nation, and we see it right here in our face. They run the gas station, they run the food market, they run the businesses, they building the houses and the buildings, they doing the maid service in your home. I got another witness. Now the same people that say they're not living by the law, right? The same people say the laws are done away with, right? Foolishly, ignorantly, not knowing the truth. Who cut your grass? Who doing your lawn service? President Trump was president. It happened when President Obama was president. It happened when President Bush was president, dad and son. Yes, it did. It happened when President Reagan was president. It happened when President Carter was president. Come on. Come on. Don't blame one man. No, this goes way beyond President Biden. Adam, the day you eat from that tree of righteousness and evil is the day you would die, because sin has came back in the world. Come on, nation. Come on, nation. Now, I got another witness. I'm not through yet. When you go to your medical offices to see the doctor, who is in the emergency room treating us? It's more foreign doctors than treating us than American doctors. We have more foreign nurses now than American nurses. Who's doing operations upon us? It may be 5 doctors come in your hospital room to see you, but the lead doctor is a foreigner. Come on, America. Open up your eyes. They're coming on into the law enforcement. They're already in the sport. They already took over the baseball. Basketball is next. They're coming on into football. Well, once you knew all of the baseball players, now you hardly know none, and I don't hate one of them because they is my neighbor. I love to see them play just as the Americans, but all I'm showing you is that we cannot stop what Father Yahweh says will happen. Right here in the same law that we'll talk that have been done away with, we're looking at these laws every day. So look at verse 49. I'm bringing this nation in against you from afar, from the ends of the earth, and like an eagle swooping down, a nation whose language you will not understand. A fierce-looking nation will have no respect of person, whether you old or young, whether you strong or crippled. They will have no pity. So who you gonna lie to? On Yahweh, or you gonna tell the preachers they don't lie to you? Who you gonna tell to lie to? Yahweh ain't the lie. Father Yahweh is not the lie. I Minister Good didn't come to play with you today, nation. I didn't come to deceive you. I have no hatred. I go in to get my gas, I speak to them, I laugh with them, I talk to them, because why? They my neighbors. I don't hate them. I see Deuteronomy 20 every time I drive down the street and see Julio and the boys cutting grass. I said, look at the law right there. When I carried my brother to the emergency room and the doctor came in and talked to us, a foreigner, I said, look at the law right there. I can't teach that which is lies and say I have the Holy Spirit, nation. I give the fact of what is actually real. I just have a few witnesses. If we have been righteous and stayed righteous and obeyed Yahweh in righteousness, America would have still been strong. With all of the so-called money on this nation, we still weak and inferior because of the breaking of Yahweh's law. And I haven't even hit the main sin yet that makes this nation so disgustful. Tune in next week. I'm coming with the sin that made this nation look like a scandalous to all the other nations in the world. Tune in next week, Yahweh's will. Tune in next week. Radio Nation, I come from Yahweh's will radio broadcast, giving you the same message that I'm giving you now through the podcast. It has not changed. Yahweh's word has not changed, and it's Yahweh's will for us to live by his every word. From Yahweh's radio ministry to now the podcast, I am thankful to bring you Yahweh's word, so I would not teach you lies, I would not teach you false propaganda. You would see it with your own eyes, whether you accept it or not. The word is right. Soon as a nation is in crisis, America is gone. It's because Yahweh has commanded it to happen. Don't blame the president. It don't matter who is in office. It's going to happen. Israel going to get help. It's going to happen. But now when the time comes for America to get help, you're going to see a different story because it's Father Yahweh will for it to be the way it is. Please call 1-800-613-9494. Be put on the mailing list. Get the 613 laws for your family. Get to learn the way Father Yahweh commands. Understand what Father Yahweh will is for. Nation, I'm only here to give you Yahweh word. I'm not here to change it. I'm not here to deceive you. I'm only here to give you Yahweh word. I am as Yachanan in the King James manuscript, the Apostle John on the island of Patmos. I'm just crying in the wilderness, trying to show you what's going on and why it's happening. You can't stop Yahweh. Don't fight against Yahweh. We must obey Yahweh. We must submit to the righteousness of Yahweh. In your neighborhood, you may know your neighbors today, but tomorrow you may see a whole new group of people you've never seen before. Nation, it is real. It is real, and it has not changed it from Adam all the way over to now. Yahweh's wrath is getting worse and worse, and the prophecies are being manifested more and more. So this is part 2 of the righteousness and the wickedness of Father Yahweh. We will be in a much better place. We killing our own neighbors every day. Bloodshed and blood. Caucuses all in the street. Raping, abducting, child pedophiles. All of this stems from Adam. One man's sin. All of the foolishness we see is because of the mind is in darkness and in the state of morbidness. I'm Minister Dennis, thank you. Thank you for today, for just listening. You may correspond with me. Minister Derek Good, Post Office Box 15027, Atlanta, Georgia, 30315. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's broadcast. I do hope the message was inspiring to you, and I do hope that Yahweh will continue to be with you and bless your understanding until the next broadcast of Yahweh's Will with Minister Derek Gooden.